What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including numerous secrets emerge from WrestleMania. WWE actually had no plans for Cody Rhodes. Britt Baker unfortunately suffered a stroke. Shawn Michaels comments on wrestler's release, fans turning on Mercedes Mone, a WWE Star Re-Signs, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, the MJF we love to hate. Did AEW fans really think MJF was turning babyface? Well, no, but the storyline of MJF attacking Daniel Garcia after Garcia refused to cheat to defeat Will Ospreay was fun to watch and play out. MJF can work as a babyface under the right circumstances, but he's too good as a heel, and frankly, AEW needs MJF at his scummiest if it wants to dig itself out of the hole. An MJF vs Daniel Garcia feud could be excellent, especially if AEW uses it to elevate Garcia, who seems ready for bigger things than the Jericho Appreciation Society. Number 2, Chris Jericho Fireball, always a fun spot. Speaking of the Ocho, Jericho's backstage attack on Hook was off the charts thanks to Chris bringing the fire, and literally and figuratively. What works so well about Jericho's current learning tree persona is that he acts like a goof, lulling opponents into underestimating him and how vicious he can actually get. Number 3, Adam Page Unhinged. Hangman Adam Page is back, and he's more brutal and violent than he was when he was suspended for going berserk on AEW's wrestlers and officials. Page's surprise entry into the Owen Hart Cup saw him brutalize Jeff Jarrett, a heel who was looking to honor his friend Owen Hart's legacy by winning the match. While Page is clearly a heel, he made it known to the Young Bucks that he's not their puppet, despite Nicholas and Matthew getting Page's suspension lifted, and he's not joining them in their upcoming Blood and Guts match. While AEW is booking Page as a heel, his lone wolf gimmick could lead fans to getting behind him and revitalizing a career that was stagnant prior to his feud with Swerve Strickland. Number 4, Mercedes Mone Britt Baker confrontation. AEW couldn't have picked a better opponent for Dr. Britt Baker to feud with following Baker's lengthy injury-related absence. This could be like a battle of two queen bees, and judging from the fans' reaction to Monet, as more about that in the news, AEW fans are clearly behind Baker. Number 5, a Dynamite. Solid matches, promos, and beatdowns are a good formula to use for a wrestling show, but Dynamite has been using this time-tested recipe on a regular basis, resulting in boring shows that give even the most die-hard AEW fans little reason to tune in. As fans have seen with Raw and SmackDown recently, there's nothing wrong with aiming to produce banger after banger, but that doesn't mean hot-shotting with unpredictable but illogical storylines. It means keeping fans on the edge of their seats with action, suspense, and all-around solid entertainment. And Jericho, that doesn't work for me, brother promo. And Chris Jericho continues to get over by taking critics' perception of him as a veteran more concerned with getting himself over than younger talent, and exaggerating it into a hilarious character. Jericho's promo last night was over the top as always, including a spot where he incorporated Hulk Hogan's "that doesn't work for me, brother" into it. Now, surprisingly, there was nothing bad, nothing downright ugly. This was one of Dynamite's best show in months, and a reminder that AEW can still put out entertaining episodes if it puts its mind into it. What'd you guys think of Dynamite last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our top story today takes a look at the various secrets that emerged from WrestleMania 40. On top of today's news are riveting revelations from the WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain documentary, which detailed a wild ride from Cody Rhodes winning the 2024 Rumble, giving up his WrestleMania 40 spot and then getting it back. First, let's look at the real reason why WWE wanted to replace Cody vs Roman with Rock vs Roman. One of the more interesting takeaways was when Triple H explained the WWE's reason for wanting to replace Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns 2 at WrestleMania 40 with The Rock vs Reigns. As fans have heard, the rematch has been in the works for a year, essentially beginning the day after Cody's shocking loss at WrestleMania 39. We had that story and that match, Rhodes vs Reigns, planned out. But there was another story, a blockbuster story. We've been talking about it for years. It was just a matter of finding the right opportunity in which to tell it, Roman Reigns and The Rock. The idea of Rock vs Roman has been rumored for years, but as more time passed and The Rock's career grew busier, there were serious doubts that the match would ever happen. That changed when The Rock inked a deal with TKO Holdings to become a board member and do some work for the WWE. But according to Hunter, I sat with Cody at the Royal Rumble in the afternoon and I told him it was becoming more of a reality that the match with Roman and The Rock could take place at WrestleMania. I don't think anybody knew a thing outside of Cody, and I'm sure that was a brutal day. As we reported earlier this week, Rhodes wasn't cool with the idea of passing off his Mania title shot, and as we'll see, he could have more reasons for being unhappy, as they really had no plans for him at WrestleMania 40. Fans may be surprised to hear that WWE actually had nothing in place for Cody at WrestleMania 40 once they opted to go with Rock vs Roman. Triple H discussed telling Cody about the change of plans and realizing, obviously Cody's next question is, where does that leave me? I'm like, I'm not sure yet. So that's on me to figure out because this is all happening in real time. At least how I saw it was we were going to see how the reaction is. At one point it looked as if Cody might wrestle CM Punk, that being the most moot point after Punk's injury at the Royal Rumble. Later they then seemed to head towards Cody versus Seth Rollins, but then we all know the WWE went back to its original plans. Well, the big question is, why did WWE decide to return to its original plans of Cody versus Roman 2 after the shocking swerve of Cody handing over his WrestleMania match to The Rock? Triple H said he relied on what his gut was telling him. Essentially, Triple H relied on what he knew the majority of the world, many of which who don't watch the WWE, would be invested in the storyline. However, my gut says Ari, Nick, Triple H, my gut says I didn't like this, even if it's a segment of fans. I don't like that they're upset, and that really bugged the shit out of me, and that's not how I operated my entire career. I don't like it, and I knew essentially the choice was mine. In hindsight, Triple H had to make the biggest decision of his career as Chief Content Officer, go with a match sure to attract mainstream attention on a grand scale of Rock vs Roman, or continue with a program designed to appeal to the core audience he'd helped grow through his booking over the last year and a half. It was either we truck through this and make this the main event, or we don't. I went with the latter and I told the guys, here's what I think we should do. I believe we should go with Roman versus Cody. Let Cody finish his story and take care of those fans, because it's critical and important. The Cerebral Assassin also discussed how the WWE shifted gears. We pivot. The good thing is that everybody in this group of people, whether it's the writing teams here, whether it's The Rock, whether it's Roman, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman, myself, Nick Khan, everybody gets together, talks about it and decides that's the way we go. We all agree on this now, let's go. And we pivot in a way that blurs the lines of fiction and reality. And we believe that Rock vs Roman would have been a blockbuster bout, and one that would have created short-term success, perhaps even spectacular success. However, dropping Cody vs Roman could and likely would have alienated regular viewers, regardless of whether they were Cody or Roman fans, causing substantial damage. Consequently, the WWE turned garbage into gold, channeling the fans' anger toward The Rock into arguably one of the greatest storylines of the last 20 years and setting up several future dream matches, whether The Rock vs Roman or Cody vs Rock. But was it Triple H's decision? Interestingly, The Rock commented on the WrestleMania 40 documentary that he decided to opt out of his match with Roman. Wrestling News summarized The Rock's decision saying, The Rock said it was his decision to go back to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Rock said it bothered him that a portion of the audience was upset about Cody getting pulled from the match with Roman. Do you guys think Triple H and Rock made the right decision by sticking to the original plans? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Britt Baker suffered a stroke. Dr. Britt Baker's revelation on Dynamite that she's been dealing with health problems wasn't a surprise, as fans knew wrestling's real-life dentist had coped with back problems for some time. What was a surprise was when Baker revealed she suffered a mini stroke and had no choice but to take time off. This being pro wrestling where fans expect to be worked, Baker's comments led to debate about whether this was a work or not. However, PW Insider's reporting the story Britt Baker told about her suffering a mini stroke in the wake of her other injuries during a return promo on Dynamite is 100% legitimate. Dr. Britt Baker was gone from AEW TV for some time, an absence that was felt despite the influx of new talent such as Deonna Purrazzo, Mercedes Mone, and other female talent stepping up the game to fill the void. Whatever the case, we're glad that she's back and feeling okay. Next up, Shawn Michaels comments on wrestler's exit. A long-time WWE superstar Drew Gulak's contract was not renewed, leading to speculation whether Ronda Rousey's accusations of Gulak pulling on her sweatpants drawstring actually led to his exit. However, Michaels claims that there's only one reason for the WWE's decision to not keep Gulak on. He revealed during the Heatwave press conference that, from my understanding, nothing on anyone's part other than contracts being up, certainly in the place of Drew Gulak. From a company standpoint, there not being anything from a main roster standpoint that they were going to be using him in. In NXT over the last year and a half, 2 years, we've been trying to get into the process of keeping it fluid. It's all about getting to the main roster when everything is said and done. In 2 or 3 years, if that doesn't happen, we bring other people in or see if we're ready to move on. Next up, AEW fans turning on Mercedes Mone. Are AEW fans already tired of Mercedes Moné's act? While fans seem to enjoy her debut, it's fair to say fans' opinions of her have been mixed now that she's been on the promotion for a while. However, things could be going downhill fast as fans chanted "shut the F up" during a promo battle with Dr. Britt Baker. It's possible that fans simply preferred Baker, an AEW original, to Mone, and this particular crowd didn't like her, or that Mone isn't as popular as she thought she was in AEW. Whatever the reason, turning Mercedes heel is an option AEW should consider, as she plays an arrogant heel better than a boastful babyface. And finally, a WWE Star Re-Signs. And last but not least, Angel Garza won't be flying away from the WWE, as a Legado del Fantasma member recently informed the WWE Universe he's staying. WrestleFeatures tweeted, Angel Garza has re-signed with WWE. On a Facebook livestream, he revealed that he's re-signed for another 3 years. Are you glad that he's staying? Will the WWE make the most out of him? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.